everyone, welcome to Frappe School. This is the first chapter in our Human Resource Management course, and today we will be discussing Employee Master Data Management. By the end of this chapter, we will be able to understand the importance of managing employee master data, how to add an employee in your ERP system, employee grades and designation, branches and departments. Let's start with a little bit of context on what master data is and how it will help your organization's HR department. As an organization, the primary responsibility of the HR department is to maintain extensive employee records and also to keep them updated. Maintaining these records will be essential to your organization as it will help you to gather and analyze information of your employees in a comprehensive manner. Employee master data contains all kinds of personal and professional histories of the employee, their skill sets, all kinds of contact information, and an array of other details. Managing this data is important not only for operational but for legal reasons as well. Apart from being relevant to the HR team and executives, employee data management can also be useful for monitoring performance and productivity. Managers can refer to employee records for employee skill set and work histories in order to get a better understanding of what their employees are capable of. You can also take a look at an employee's history at your organization when considering them for a promotion. While onboarding an employee, you can also add details about any training that the employee might require to do their job well. Employee data doesn't just come in handy when the employee is working in your organization, but also after they have left. It helps maintain a relationship with them in the future so that you have the option of easily approaching if you want to recruit them again. Having correct information stored about your employees and their time in your organization will help you avoid any kind of litigation even if they are terminated. Moreover, your HR department will be able to efficiently assess how your current employees support the growth of your organization and also to mitigate any kind of gaps. Let's see how employee master data management works in ERP next. To understand all the features of employee master data management better, we will first create an employee in the system. To view a list of the current employees of an organization, we can navigate from Home to the HR module and click on Employee under the Employee section. We can search this list by name, employee, or by using filters like status. Now that we are creating a new employee as an example, we will do that using the Add Employee button here. Every employee will be given a unique ID for the system to recognize them. We can pick a method of naming this ID. For example, the default is a naming series, but we can choose to change it to use their full name or their employee name in the system's employee settings. Now we will add their personal details. Let's name the employee, add their date of birth, their joining date, and their employment type as full-time. To make sure that we are able to contact this employee in emergencies, we will add their emergency contact details here. Next, if they have an ERP Next account, you can add their user ID here. Now on to their joining details. Any new employee you add to the system will have certain dates associated with when they were offered the position and when they accepted that offer, or if their contract ends at a certain date, or what date will they retire. The retirement date is automatically calculated by the retirement age specified in the system's employee settings. It is important to specify what department this employee will be joining, their grade, the branch they will be working at, and who they report to. For example, if Pamela is to join the sales department, we will type in sales, select the grade, select a branch, and select the person they report to. Approvers basically mean other senior employees who will approve this new employee's shifts, expenses, and leaves. We can define these values here. If the organization uses an automated or biometric attendance device or system, we can add these details here in attendance and leave details. We can also pick a holiday list or a default shift for our new employee. Now, to define our new employee's salary details, let's select the mode of payment as bank. We will have to add their bank details. Select a payroll cost center, add their PAN number and any provident fund details if applicable. If health insurance is provided by the organization, then we can add their details here under health insurance. Next, we will add personal and professional contact and address details for this employee. We can also select the preferred email ID for this employee, which can be either their personal email, company email, or their ERP Next user ID email. To make sure the information about this employee is all inclusive, we can add their bio if we have one, which can be used for the website or on any other publications necessary. Here, in personal details, we can add this employee's passport details, family background, and health details as necessary. The next two important pieces of information we will have to add are the employee's educational qualifications and their previous work experience. For example, if Pamela has graduated from New York University in 2020, then we can put down the details as follows. And if Pamela has previously worked at a company, we can put down the details about their designation and salary here. If this employee has any previous history in the organization, in another department, branch, or at any other time, we can see and add these details here in history in company. If not, then we can move on. The exit section will be used if and when this employee leaves the company. Now that we have added all the details necessary to add this employee to the system, we can save them. While creating a new employee in the system, we mentioned employee settings a couple of times. Let's see what exactly we can customize in employee settings. To navigate to employee settings from home, you can go to the HR module and click on HR settings under the settings section. We can define a retirement age here, according to which any particular employee's retirement date will be calculated. For example, we can set the retirement age as 65. We can add standard working hours and also change how the employees are identified in the system.
Suppose we want to use the employee's name instead of a naming series, we can select that here. An employee group helps you club your employees based on attributes such as their designation, grade, or the branch they work at, etc. To access the employee groups from home, we can click on the HR module and then on Employee Groups under the Employee section. Here, we will find a list of existing groups. If we want to create a new employee group, then we can do it here in Add Employee Group, name it, and select any relevant employees from the employee list. Employee grades help you group your employees by segments like seniority or any other criteria to customize their payrolls, leaves, etc. based on what grade they belong to. To view the list of employee grades, we can go from home to the HR module and click on Employee Grade in the Employee section. Here, we can see any existing grades, and if we want to create a new one, we can simply do it here in Add Employee Grade. Name it, set a default salary structure, and click on Save. The employees in your organization will work at different designations with different job profiles. Each designation will require that employees have a specific set of skills to be the best at their job. Having a meticulous list of skill sets required for each designation can be very helpful to evaluate how prepared any particular employee is for the activities that they will be required to do. It can also help executives and managers in your organization handle internal transfers and gauge what role may fit best for a particular employee. To navigate to the list of designations from home, we can go to the HR module and then click on Designation under the Employee section. Here, we can see a list of all predefined designations and others that we can add on our own. For example, if we open this designer designation, we will see that each designation has a list of required skills listed under it. We can add to these skills. For example, we can add knows how to use Adobe Illustrator. These skills will act as a checklist for anyone who needs to refer to it. If we want to create a new designation altogether, we can go back to the designation list and do it here in Add Designation. We can then name the designation and add any required skill sets. A department is essentially a team that carries out specific tasks within your organization. For example, a sales department works on closing deals and orders for products and services that your organization might offer. An HR department will deal with hiring and employee data. In ERP Next, the department list is shown in a tree structure. We can create departments and sub-departments. Here's an example. We can configure the departments in the organization, block leaves for specific departments, and set leave, shift, and expense approvers for the employees in each department collectively. Let's try creating a new parent department. We can do that by clicking on the New button, adding a department name, and selecting the company. If we select the Group Node checkbox, it will allow us to create sub-departments within this parent company. Save when done. To create a sub-department, we can click on the parent department we just created and choose the Add Child option. To customize features inside any department, we can choose that particular department and edit it. Here, we can set a payroll cost center and leave block list if applicable for this department. We can even set leave, expense and shift approvers for this particular department here. Multiple leave and expense approvers can be added, but the first in the list will be set as the default approver. These changes will now apply to any employee who belongs to this particular department.
This brings us to the end of our first chapter. I hope you have understood the importance of employee master data management. You can read more about ERP Next on docs.erpnext.com. In the next chapter, we will learn about employee lifecycle management. Thank you.